Barrett
and Christina.
and you're tuning in to Seat for Every Ass. Hey everyone, we are back today, Seat for Every Ass, and we're going to be talking about technology. Something that you and I are we're not very good at.
But we're learning the reasoning behind it, so that matters.
To start off, as we always do, cheers.
Cheers.
Got our cocktails. I am having my gin. I called it a gin-tini.
I'm having a rosé.
You love
I'm just
a
like
rosé.
trying to get in that summer mode, even though I'm going to complain again.
This will be my summer mode.
I like that though.
Because it's light. It's light.
Rosé to me, I always put ice in it because I need everything super ice cold. In my
Yeah,
drinks.
you do. We did a podcast.
It also waters it down, so it actually makes you
That's
drink
true.
like less alcohol.
So we did a podcast yesterday, meaning we sat on a podcast. We were the guests. And the producer asked if we wanted water, and he said that it was room temperature. And I'm like, me, like, I don't mind at all. Christina's like, oh, my God, I can, God forbid.
I was like, no. Anything cold? He's like, beer or cold brew. And I was like, fine,
You definitely
cold
wouldn't
brew.
have a beer.
No.
Christina and I, we're the same on that one. We will not drink a beer.
Yeah.
Unless
That's
we're in the
zero for
desert
me.
and that's the only thing left. And I still wonder if we would.
We probably wouldn't because it just dehydrates you.
True.
Then
But
we
doesn't
would
all
drink the
alcohol dehydrate you? though?
Exactly. So we probably wouldn't drink the beer.
No, that's why.
We'd go to the cactus. Try to find the...
That's why we have wrinkles coming on. We need to plump it up some water. Anyways, all right, let's get into technology. So, as we all know, AI is a thing. It's a major thing all over the world, and it's a big thing in design. We actually do use AI because there are rendering software programs that do make things extremely sellable for a client. So when we are doing a presentation, we do all of our renderings in-house. However, as of late, we, thanks to Sam again from Art and Loom,
Yay, Sam.
hooked us up with an incredible renderer who does use an AI program. And all I can say is that not only is it so real life and it's so easy to sell the client on the vision because you truly feel like you're looking at a finished space. But in the case that the client doesn't maybe use it, let's just say, you can use that picture for social media because it is still your design, it's still your vision, and it does look real. Like nothing against, the 2D versions or the 3D versions from SketchUp and, the other programs. But this is really like you're looking at it and you're like trying to figure out how it's not real.
Right. So much so when we're presenting, we're showing areas that don't necessarily need the 2D. And then all of a sudden the clients are like, well.
You mean the 3D?
No. When we're showing the 3D and then we're showing the 2D.
Yeah.
When we're showing the 2D, the
we
clients are like,
pick it.
Can you do the 3D in this? And
So because, to Christina's point, because we are picking and choosing what rooms, again, because it's not
they're always
in-house,
important rooms.
this is we're paying out of pocket to get these renders done by somebody else. We pick our special rooms. But I feel like moving forward soon enough, we're going to end up just doing the entire house. I have some thoughts on this because time is money, right? And the amount of time that it takes our team to do 2D renders, even though they're super fast, it still is a lot of time when that time could be used somewhere else. And these 3D renders are so inexpensive and they're so impactful, not only, like I said, for presentation, but also for social media purposes, that like you're basically investing in your vision for your firm. So I don't know. Christine and I are always in constant conversation about how we're going to evolve and better that system because they are just that impactful.
Yeah, it's when you're looking at the two side by side, like the 2D versus the 3D, and it's like you feel like you're in the actual room.
Yeah.
And now they do the videos too.
Oh, I know.
Where you're like walking through the room and you're like, wait, am I in that space? So it's so important for the client, and it's so great that this technology actually
Yeah.
exists.
And we're so happy when we get them too, because I feel like you and I
know.
and the team, we put so much time and energy into like developing these design concepts. And so when we see it in this rendering program, it's almost like we're there at photo shoot day taking pictures. And it's like it
also
came
so
to
easy
life.
for us to be like, oh, wait a second. This might not be the right choice.
Yeah, 100%.
Of lighting or something, or like the right color for the millwork. That before we present to the client, like we could see that, and it's an easy fix. So,
Right. And also for clients that don't end up going with our vision 100%, we have it in that render where we can post it and share it.
Yeah.
Because it's always better than when the client starts to like pull it apart.
Yeah, right. That's very true.
You know?
Yeah, and it's in our brains still, because we're pretty much always so proud of like all of our designs.
So proud.
And sometimes it just doesn't. It's just not the exact thing that the client is looking for, and
Right.
then when the tweaks happen, and then we have to incorporate existing furniture,
Yeah.
then we still have our design.
100%. So the AI renderer that we work with actually does require us to give them all specifications. So not only are we giving product selections, but we also have to give full CAD, like all the CAD, the full layout and elevations. Like it's very
All the links to the products.
It's very, very, very detailed. And it's not just us putting in a picture into a, chat GPT and then it comes to life. We are truly giving the full design. So what this client sees in the end result is truly what they would be getting. We've heard, though, some horror stories of other programs and other designers that have used these other programs where they're just kind of telling the AI what they want to see, and then they're showing that to the client, and then that's never able to be executed. And like for us, we would never be able to do that because that's basically false. Like it's just a false reality.
Right. Like the contractor's like, so what are the measurements for this millwork? Like everything looks amazing, but there's actually nothing to back it up.
And like it can't even be actually suitable in space. Like it doesn't
Right.
even work.
Right.
Like a staircase that like they just went floating or something and they physically can't do that.
Right. It's so, that's mind blowing. We've heard a lot of stories about this, and we're not understanding how that actually works with anybody.
No.
Like,
And I think you should be really careful if you are dabbling in AI that you do truly understand what that means, because there's like the God and there's the devil. There's both of them. And it's easy to get on the devil because you just tell him anything you want.
Uh-huh.
That doesn't mean it's right.
Right.
So take it off the shoulder.
Yeah. It's
But
The
we're not
issue-
we're not
issue
giving
is-
you our vendor because we use them too much.
I know. The issue
So don't
is,
ask.
The issue is I feel like not only is like a fallacy, but it's also like broken promises. I feel
Yes.
like you're exciting the clients, and then all of a sudden it's just like, okay, so we're ready to hit. First of all, there's no pricing.
But never over promise and under deliver.
Yeah, that's
Just don't
one
do
of our-
it.
That's one of our
Pet peeves.
But we're not going to name names with that one either. Because it's like everyone could overpromise, and then all of a sudden
So easy.
Yeah, it's so easy to be like, oh, sure, whatever you want. You want this magical palace? Okay. It's going to cost you...
With no budget.
Yeah, it's going to cost you $7 million or whatever it may be. It's just like not practical.
No. But anyways, so that's like one of the things that lately in technology for design we've been heavily using. And like I said, we love it. We're so excited. Our team loves it too, because I think our team, they have so much that they have to do and it's so time consuming. And those...
It's definitely a relief.
It is. And those, like one of our senior designers, I was talking with her the other day and she's like, I understand that it costs money, but it's so much less money than like all the time that's spent trying to do these renderings all the time to get the full house. Because we're not doing just a few rooms for a client. Like we do work on full home projects. So for one designer to be executing all of that does take time. And nowadays clients want things yesterday. So it is really helpful to have this in our back pocket. Another thing that we use all the time, especially me, because I am not good at spelling and I have zero grammar skills when it comes to writing an email. So I use Chat GPT all the time. Also,
Newsflash!
I know. I mean, everybody uses it. But I'm so thankful that we have it because now I know where my commas are, my punctuation marks, all the things. And also it takes our words and it just makes them so much more politically correct.
Politically correct and friendly. Like it
Friendly.
makes it.
Yeah, I know. I use it even for like fights with friends.
Yes.
It's perfect.
Yeah.
I say make it nicer.
I know I used it too a couple times for that too.
I mean, even when we did our this or that, I asked ChatGPT for this and that for interior designers, and it comes up with a whole list.
I know. I'm like so worried about like our kids because how are all of a sudden they're gonna have to write a 12-page.
They're not going to. They're going to use ChatGPT.
Yeah, exactly. It's gonna be like illegal. We're like, oh my gosh, where did it go? We're gonna have to spend thousands of dollars.
By the time those kids are in school, they'll have something flying from the sky just bringing it to them. I don't even know.
It's so crazy.
But I do have to say that now, even in texting, like I will write it through that and then I'll send it. I just like I like seeing things perfectly put together and I can't do that myself. So now that it's there at my fingertips, I use it literally every second of the day.
I know the other day I was like, wait a second. You put this in chat? Because it's exactly what you would have said if you didn't put it in chat.
But it was probably had the comma where the comma needed to go. Like, I don't know. It's just like that stuff that's like so amazing.
Yeah, to make it look
it's amazing.
Professional and like not second guess like our abilities of not knowing proper English and how to write.
Good. So another thing with AI and renderings is that, you could take a picture and you can put it in chat, actually, and ask them to render it. And it will be maybe like slightly different than what that picture is.
Maybe by color.
Or even by color. So some, I guess, downfalls with AI is we came across a situation recently where an image that I actually took from my own phone of a project that we completed that we spent a very long time on. It was very personal to the growth of us, our firm, all the things, was then taken and put into what looked like AI to generate another image of it. It literally is 99.5% the same exact image. The tone is slightly off. The stairs, just like the treads and the little curve slightly off. But even the custom upholstery is exactly the same.
And to the T.
And a designer used it on social media. And right away we saw it and addressed the situation because it felt just wrong. Morally incorrect.
Like the baby was stolen or something.
Especially because not only is it our design, but it's also our sofa line photo. It's our profile photo. So we have a decent following. Everyone that knows us knows this is our picture. This is our project. It's our sofa collection photo. Like it's Christina and I sitting in front of the staircase. Like how can you not know, even if you saw it on Pinterest, you know that that's the White Ellen Bichetti project. However, it was used in an AI and then it was posted as this designer was at that space in a location that actually isn't even the location of the space. So, there's things like that are definitely going to happen. It's not the first and it's not going to be the last time for us. It will continue to happen. So I would say that that's one of the downfalls of AI, that people are just going to take, copy. But imitation is flattery, and it is. But when you copy to the T, it's almost just like a disgust.
Yours. That's like the weird part about it.
Like we see designers.
And this is a pretty big time designer. Like I'm not gonna lie. Like it's kind of like, really, you need this? Like I'm just like not understanding. And like when we saw it, like I was in a presentation, and literally like the 2 hours later, I saw 97 texts, and I'm like, what is happening? Well, that's because
we had to call out the situation.
Yeah.
But we'll leave it at that.
Right.
Let's just say when you're using AI,
it's also
just be a little mindful
and be respectful of your other fellow designers. And we are 1000%. If we have any sort of inspiration,
we always tag them. Like, remember the
Yeah.
powder room that we did
Yeah.
for the client, and it was based off of Michelle Gerson, and we tagged Michelle. Right, every time I post that, I always
Yeah.
say inspired by Michelle, because it was inspired by Michelle. It was not our design. It was our design in the sense it was a new stone, it was a new vanity, it was a
was the
new,
concept.
like everything around was different. However, the concept of how the stone was cut out was taken from her, and it almost felt a little weird putting it in this client's house because it's so specific and it's
Yeah,
so
it's so
Michelle that it almost
specific.
felt like we were wearing her own clothes and like walking out of the door. But
The client actually wanted that. And we
well,
were-
no, it wasn't us. It was the client
yeah,
that specifically asked for it, of course. I mean, we take designers' work and use it as inspiration all the time, as everybody does.
Well, it's easy to also communicate with not only the client, but like our contractors and
Yeah.
our subcontractors or any of our vendors that don't really understand or better understand like our design intention. And that's like the main reason.
The
why.
intention, though, was to copy Michelle. And so we,
Yeah.
instead of copying it and not giving her any credit, we did give her credit because she did inspire it. And you know what? If someone did that to us, I wouldn't mind, like at all. Like at all.
But this is different.
This was different.
This
This,
was so
felt
different.
like
This was
felt like
like-
a bank robbery.
Yeah.
And I own the bank.
It was pretty crazy.
So,
Crazy.
anyway.
Don't do that, designers, okay?
No.
We all respect each other.
So another thing with technology, and we've talked about this previously, especially during our COVID episode, was Zoom. I mean, Zoom has been one of the biggest highlights of technology in interior design and in business in general. And there's so many good things about it. Like we're so thankful that we have Zoom because most of our clients are not local, and we're so lucky that we get to work with clients all over the world. Literally all over the world. And it's because we have technology, and it's because we have Zoom. You can connect with them. I mean, we even do Zoom with clients down the street.
Yeah, like even an hour away. Like it's just
That's what I mean by down the
It kind of
street.
like beats us from taking the hour trip to the client's house.
Because it's 3 hours then.
Yeah, so then it's over 3 hours or the client coming to us. And it's just like hop on a call, share the screen, you see faces. It's
Yep.
amazing. And that
Well,
way, when you're reviewing stuff or
Especially if you have clients. Well, it doesn't even matter if you work or not work. Everyone's busy. Everyone has things going on. Sometimes you need to do a Zoom at 8 o'clock. Sometimes you have to do a Zoom at 7 o'clock. Like, it doesn't matter when it is. But yeah, it makes it more convenient, right? It's like hopping on the phone and just having a call, but then seeing each other and being able to share the screen, which we need to do when we're doing Zooms.
right.
But yeah, I mean, like you said,
But
it could be down the street.
But we do have to say, because everyone's so used to the Zooms nowadays, it's
Easily.
like cumbersome to us as the presenters and the designers because we don't have that intimate feeling anymore. Like we love presenting to the client with our team members at hand, with the samples at hand, showing, talking, interacting, seeing their faces. That's gone. And especially when you're the one that's talking and they're either on their phones and
Sometimes they don't even show their face.
they don't.
That's the
so
hardest.
hard
You're
for us.
literally
like we're like
no, because I
'Cause you
feel
can't
like you and I especially like we vibe so much off people's energy. Like we're
Right.
so personable and we're expressive and loud and like we love talking and interacting with people. And so when you don't get that immediate reaction back, especially when you're presenting something that you love and you've put so much time and energy into, and you like are selling, you're selling, you don't feel that. You're kind of like, I feel like I start to fumble my words. I clench up.
yeah because
I'm
you
not
don't
as
know.
smooth.
Yeah, it's almost like any performer, like a comedian or a musician. Like you have like a stagnant audience.
Yeah.
How do you like? You're
Imagine doing this
feeding off the
podcast right now if
energy.
we had a screen between the two of us.
I'd be like, hello, over here, Barrett.
We did
Can
used
you
to do that
see
during
me?"
Zoom. I mean, during COVID, we did that.
What?
Remember,
Oh.
we used to do stories, like live stories, and we would like put each other on, and then it was kind of like a podcast.
Right.
But yeah, you don't get that
That's
same
different.
energy. You don't get that same immediate reaction. You don't feel the body language. Even
It's
if they're
the
fake.
energy.
Yeah.
It's
it is.
missing.
It's missing.
Zero. It's missing. And it's like so
But it is-
hard to like, I don't know. It's like, it's just so hard to be like,
Enthusiastic.
right. Like you're just like you're almost like a teacher. And like,
But it is such a good technology that has come out that has truly taken our business to another level, and I am so thankful for it. We're just complaining about the things that are difficult about it. But if we didn't have that, it would be much harder to work with these clients.
Yeah, 100%.
And then we'd be complaining about something else.
That is actually very true, Barrett. I feel like we're just complaining about it because, just recently we've been doing a lot of Zooms and we're kind of missing.
We literally had a week straight of Zooms.
Yeah.
Presentations. Yeah.
So it's like, we're used to doing presentations, like literally in-house, big screen, champagne at hand, snacks, lunch, all that
Cheese
stuff. Like
plates.
it's like an experience, and we love that part of it because we work so hard within like that 8 weeks to get to where we are, and to that all like we're presenting, but we're not like enjoying all the latter.
100%.
So that is just we're being a little not greedy, but I think that we're being a little bit sensitive because we're just so used to presenting the way we present.
I agree. Yeah. So we talked about this the other day, and it was funny that we both had the same feeling. Well, I got off a presentation the other day, and one of our senior designers, she was like, wow, like literally you talked for an hour and 10 minutes and no one said anything. She's like, that was kind of strange. And like, are you exhausted? I'm like, yeah. I mean, you're always exhausted after presenting because it's a marathon, but that was even that much harder.
Yeah. I mean,
yeah. So, okay. So going into more technology, Instagram, social media, TikTok, Pinterest, let's talk about all of it. We always we always talk about it. We always dabble into it, but let's really talk about it because it did come up in topic yesterday on the podcast that we sat on and talked as guests. We all agree that Instagram is the driving force for interior design. It is extremely visual. You see pictures of everything as you're scrolling. That's like what's driving you on Instagram. And then the beauty of Instagram is you can go on stories and really be personal and see the behind the scenes, which is fun.
Behind the scenes, and most of our clients have the ability before they actually hire us to see who we are.
Get to know us.
Get to know us they always say it's like in a weird sort of way because they're like, I feel like I know you.
Yeah.
But I don't. And
that's because we're real and we actually put it out there. I mean, you and I
see what you see is what you get.
Yeah.
And we show a lot of like behind the closed doors.
Yeah.
So it's just like it's important.
In this room especially.
That's why like when we have our the first like conversations that you have with these clients, they already know. It's just about making it work basically on both of our ends. But they already know who we are.
Don't you think, though, it's funny that they definitely already know who we are, but a lot of the time I get the name Christina.
They're like, Christina Weidel?
I said it's because I look like Christina Aguilera. They're always calling me Christina. I'm like, I'm the one that's on social media all the time. Like, don't you know it's Barrett and not Christina? I mean, I do say, hey, it's Barrett. Like, Christina, how many times, even vendors have called me Christina.
I know. I feel like it's just an easier name to
because
remember.
I think blonde.
I mean, we were on a panel.
I swear to God,
Designers
blonde and Christina.
They were calling you Christina, and I'm like, that was awkward.
It was awkward.
That was so awkward. I'm like, you did it again.
Again and again and again and again and again.
It's Barrett.
It's Barrett. So anyways, going back to Instagram. So when Christina and I started our business, we literally didn't have a website and we used Instagram for the first 5 years. Again, because it's so visual. Mm-hmm. And it's definitely our platform. We still get all of our clients, besides word of mouth, through Instagram. We're dabbling in TikTok. I personally love TikTok because to me it's like a TV show, so I just watch it. But it's not because I love doing anything on TikTok. I actually just like to go on TikTok and watch.
I know. You're like, so I got up at 1 a.m. and I watched so many movies on TikTok. Like, I am so like...
Till 5 a.m.?
I'm clueless with TikTok. I have to like ask Barrett even how to like get on it.
I save a lot of recipes on there though too, and I share them with you.
You do, which they're pretty like
They're
I mean,
amazing.
It's easy because it's fast.
Yeah.
Like, except for that one girl that I was like, can we
Just
get
get
on? Like, can we get on with
that's
that?
a lot of people on TikTok. But I feel like with TikTok, it's just a smorgasbord of like a lot of stuff. I use it as a TV.
It does according to what you're watching,
Sometimes,
liking, or no.
sometimes. I mean,
Sometimes
there's
you send me
things.
the craziest things. I'm like, how did
There's
this?
like big booties
I'm like,
walking around, and I'm like, I'm not looking at people's butts. Like, why all of a sudden do I have a woman walking out with this humongous added-on town on the backside?
I'm like,
Chris is always like, your For You pages are out of control. I don't even know why. It just hears me talking, I guess, and that's why. But
about big asses.
yeah, maybe it's because I'm always talking about seat for every ass.
Maybe all of a sudden you get boop, 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 boop.
But I swear to God, the For You pages on both my Instagram and TikTok are all over the place. Obviously, lots of animals, food, fashion, interior design, and then I have like fake elements of the body. But TikTok is still like new for us in terms of how we're using it as a firm for interior design. But personally, I love it for my 1 to 5 a.m. wake up call.
Gosh,
Pinterest, we love Pinterest. We use Pinterest a lot.
You just have to like search like the right terminology and verbiage.
Well, I feel like Pinterest lately has understood me so much from being on there that I haven't even had to really like have trouble searching. Like it's coming up.
Yeah.
It's doing well.
You just have to, like I said, you just have to put the right verbiage in. Like you can't just say contemporary ladies lounge because that's not working out.
No, it's not working out. We'll probably show you this.
You probably will.
Well, that's so funny because the other day when this whole thing happened with that staircase and custom piece that we were talking about, one of our designers went online and found the picture right away, and they were like, oh, well, this is how they like pulled it up from Pinterest, and it probably wasn't tagged with like us on there or whatever. And
Okay. Still.
Dot your I's and cross your T's. That's all I have to say.
And it's a profile pic, so
that's what I'm saying. Dot your I's
Yeah.
and cross your T's.
Yeah, I don't understand.
Know your peeps, especially when you're in these pods together. 11 of them. You see our little picture every little minute.
I know. In that same scene.
Oh, and speaking of with Instagram, so if you guys follow, you know that I'm heavily on there. And for the last 500 years have been doing Instagram, but lately we have Mia helping us, which is like a humongous.
She's so great.
So our design assistant, Mia, giving you a huge shout out for taking over our posts and helping with all of that, because for me, I started to get insanely overwhelmed and I wanted to just throw my phone out the window, but I also want it to be perfect, and she has done a perfect job. Like I have to say, I love her.
I mean, I was even talking to her
you.
today because I've also stressed the importance of like timing and everything, because I know you're telling her, but once you tell her something, she totally gets it. So I was on the phone with her going through like a massive amount of work tasks at hand that she had to do today.
She's so cute.
And she's like, but hold on.
I gotta post.
And
Because
I
she
was
knows
like,
I'm going to be like,
call me back after. And she's like, she gets it. You tell her
no,
once
she
and
gets it.
that's it.
No, she gets it. And she's actually really good with Instagram. Like, obviously, the stories are still us and me. And if I need help with the stories, I tell her what that is. But in terms of the posts, she's so great. And she started like planning things out, which I never did. And she's just such a help in that. I really am like so thankful, because not everyone understands how we want it to be seen, especially me. They call me the Instagram police. And
she is. I'm like scared to post anything. Spirit will be like, it's a little crooked, or you didn't like. She'll tell me to like take pictures of my house in some way, and I'm like,
well, because it's always crooked. That's why I go over there in my PJs and take it for
her.
her.
She's like, okay, never mind. I'm just gonna go over there. I'm gonna drop the kids off at the bus, and I'm coming over. And I'm like, okay. Go ahead.
But I do have to say, it's our biggest marketing tool, and everyone that knows us and everyone that follows us always compliments our Instagram, and I take great pride in that. I really do, because I do put so much energy into it. So when someone compliments us on it, I'm like, oh God, thank God. Because it's not easy and it is overwhelming, and it's like you actually have to do it if you want to stay relevant in this business and if you want to continue to grow. And I don't care how big we ever get. I want us to still be relevant, and I still want us to be relatable to anyone that's out there. And that's something that we spoke about like on the not the podcast that we did, but the panel that we sat on.
The panel.
Like, to me, it was like, obviously everyone has their own way of doing things, but for us, it's about being authentic and being real and doing it and posting it and continuing to stay up with everything and not feel like it's so forced. And I think for us, it doesn't feel forced.
Yeah, for us, it really doesn't feel forced, but also every designer has their own way to do things, which we see. If that works for them, that works for them,
Yeah.
but this works for us. And I have to give Barrett definite mad props because she's so passionate about it all, and like it's really about content and making things interesting and stuff
Yeah.
like that, which I think you really do a good job.
Oh, thank you. That means a lot because I do really want to continue to grow our firm, and I get really excited about doing that through Instagram because I know that is what's driving a lot. So it just feels like second nature. So speaking about staying relevant and always growing your firm, that's something that we're really passionate about here. We reach out to a lot of trades and vendors and different industries that we follow, respect, all the things.
All the things that are relatable to us.
So stay tuned because the next episode, we're going to talk about that and particularly real estate agents. Real estate agents and what they could bring to the business of interior design. So follow, like, subscribe, post it, share it, shout it out, all the things. Seat for every ass.
Till next time.
Till next time.